Hey, it's Joey Salvia. Welcome to OpieRadio. Something we haven't done for a while. We haven't taken any calls at 888-505-OPIE. Come on, let's take a few this time around.
Opie, this is Chuck from Jersey at the ITXP on Twitter. Listen, I was listening to last 5 episodes, and man, I was laughing my ass off on those. And what made me realize, since I've been listening to you since the NEW days, you really do bring in some great guests in terms of comedians. You've opened my eyes to a few comedians that I've never heard of before. Patrice O'Neal being the biggest one, and then just that whole crew. So keep up the good work. Bring in some great comedians, some unknowns if you can, or have, I think that comic hang that you had started out back in the day was great. Obviously, you don't want to recreate that, but just being able to introduce new comedians and comics, to me at least, was great. Keep up the great work. Chef, always doing a great job. Sad to see him go as far as the creepy cabin, but he has a whole new future ahead of him. And Joey, you're doing a tremendous job.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Thanks.
Hello, this is a call for Mr. Carl Reese. This is Joel Gobad from Downriver, Detroit, Brownstown chapter of the Pod Squad. I just listened to episode 88, and really upset that you're denying the Pod Squad. You're saying that we don't exist. So I got the Pod Squad all together this weekend. Everybody from the Pod Squad together. And we want to tell you one thing. The two of us are pissed. Pod Squad exists, brother.
Thank you.
Yo, it's the Hammer from Alabama. I gotta say, the show is off the charts, and I know I'll probably get a great big boo from Chef Carl.
Boo.
But I just listened to the Maury episode. Fuck, your interviews are getting out of hand. These are great interviews. And then just shows of y'all sitting around bullshitting some of the best shows. And I know it's cliche, but you do sound happier than when you were on that shit show.
Aww.
All right, Jim. Love you guys. Love you, Carl. Joey, love you. Wrap it up.
We'll do one more call.
Hey guys, it's Creamy Butters, and I just want to give a shout out to the Pod Squad. In all due respect to Chef Carl, I like to say Pod Squad. Yay! It's really cool to see it going across with my pals on Twitter and Instagram, and now on Facebook with the OpieRadio Podcast Facebook page. A lot of nice people in there. The other day, it was up to 666 people. I thought I'd screenshot it. By the time I get to an area where I could screenshot, it was up to 800. Phenomenal growth. A bunch of nice guys. There was one asshole in there. Opie got rid of him. I posted my little picture of me wearing my Ruizing t-shirt. Very proud of myself. My handsome little lad in a nice little shirt. And this motherfucker says that I look like I touch kids where they pee.
Yikes.
Jesus Christ, is it 2002 and we're on a message board? Really, really outrageous. Nice job, bro. Anybody can see my pictures on fucking Creamy Butters at Twitter or Instagram. I look exactly what I look like in the pictures. A married 49-year-old diabetic with erectile dysfunction. I'm not sexually touching anything except for maybe an F plate at Happy Garden. I'm very happy with the OpieRadio podcast. It's fucking fun as hell.
Great.
Everybody's being cool, lift one another up, all that happy horse shit. You're free to bust balls by all means.
Yes.
But, for Christ's sake, be funny. Haters, be funny. Trolls, be funny.
Thanks, Rich.
The war is over.
Ba, 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 ba.
That's how we begin. Are you serious?
Boo! We got Littlefoot in the Westwood Lounge. Why don't you intro this podcast, Littlefoot? I want to put you on the spot. Usually I go over the top with the voice, and then Joey throws the echo in, and Carl yells boo. What do you got for us?
Well, we're live in the Westwood One OpieRadio Lounge.
Little boo.
Boo Bear, Boo Bear.
Boo, 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 boo.
It's the OpieRadio Podcast.
All right, that's good enough. That is good enough. What's going on, Carl? How are you?
Oh, my God. I took the train here for the first time, like the commuter train.
Oh, boy. How did that feel?
I'm not one of them.
You were with the ham and eggers.
But it's, you know what I've noticed? I don't know how to say this without being cruel.
Just say it.
The new poor is the middle class.
Oh, of course.
These people are I broke my heart. You know, like these people all fucking like. They're on a train at 6:50 in the morning,
right,
with their off-brand coffee,
right.
You know what I mean? With their shoes and their little wrinkle-free shirts.
Yeah,
just miserable. Just going, and everything for them goes wrong. You know, the ticket machine's broken, then they got to go stand on this line, and the one cab, the bathroom's broken. The other one, it's the air conditioner's stuck on. You know what I mean? Like, these people are suffering like animals before they even get to work.
I did that commute for a while back in the NEW days, man. I get it.
It takes a lot out of you. Like
I started just reading books because it was before smartphones, so you couldn't even be on your social media. So I became a damn good reader.
I could imagine. You know,
reading can make you smart.
I look out the window like a fucking basset hound.
Right.
My ADD. Like I'm like trying to read something. Like my friend sent me. He wrote a book about the history of burgers. It's something I want to read.
Yeah.
And he gave me like I'm at the level where I get forward cook. Like they
Sure.
forward me these books before anybody. I have to write the forward for this book.
Right.
Not even like, and then the American, she's like, tree, dog, tree. I'm like, this place is like a movie. I can't stop.
And half the people are sleeping, half are on their phones. Some are reading a book, old school.
And then this really cute girl sat like one chair next to me, and like, I mean, she must have smelt her hair burning from my laser stare for like half an hour. And like one guy caught my eye, and like followed it, and like he winked at me. He's like, no one gets lucky on the train, my friend. This is the death camp train.
I took the subway to Westwood One today, and kind of similar to you, the subways in New York City are getting to the point like they are in, where is it, Japan, where they push everybody in?
It's almost
we got pushers now in New York City. They're starting to push.
But they're regular people pushing you. It's not, they're not government sanctioned. It's just fucking Vinny from the Bronx that needs
He just throws a vest on.
No, he has a vest on. You know vest, Robert.
People are getting aggressive because you're right. You're right. I think we're pushing each other in.
Yeah, they're like, fucking just go.
But then there's a big mama. A big mama with those protection glasses on, and she's like screaming and yelling, "Everyone move! We can get more people in this goddamn subway!"
Then her lint is stuck on my North Face.
Boo! Boo! Boo!
It's what we go through in this city. I've never seen anything like it.
I was driving my kids to school today, and just a little call back to a past episode of the OpieRadio podcast with Carl Louise. Some guy was jumping on his city bike. And I'm thinking, what part of the Hudson River is he going to throw it in when he's done?
Opie, I was dying laughing. I got a new Facebook account because I couldn't remember my password, so I just opened a new Facebook account just to see the fucking Pod Squad.
On the Facebook group.
Yeah,
and the Pod Squad.
On the Pod Squad, and the first thing I see is the city bike in the water. That was one of the funniest fucking things I ever saw.
And it turns out to be a real thing.
It's unbelievable.
Even when I was telling you that story on that episode, I wasn't fully believing it.
Right.
You know, because I want to question everything.
Right.
And then other people would start sending articles from other cities, and then an actual picture of a city bike in the Hudson River. That one wasn't photoshopped.
No, it's a real bike in the river. When I leave here, I want to walk down by the river and just to see bikes.
Just to see bikes. I love how you're just assuming there's many.
Oh, dude, there is. I mean, once you said it to me, it just clicked in. Like, that's happening every second.
Every second of the day. The Facebook group, by the way, is OpieRadio Podcast. It's a good group in there because
nice people.
They're taking the podcast and letting it breathe in there, coming up with memes and all sorts of stuff. It's great.
No, they're good.
It's absolutely great.
They don't seem to do a lot during the day, but they seem to have a high level of free time.
Yeah. So on the last episode of the podcast, in the beginning of the podcast, I was telling you that we used to do farming at my house, and then we went off on
Amish Opie.
And then we went off on a 30-minute tangent, and I realized I never got to tell you about the farming at my house.
Bro, you know I come here just for the fucking the Opie growing up stories. It's my fucking. Once you told me one story. What was it? When it went from the twins almost dying in the river, to how free range you lived, right?
Yeah.
Then that was like, all right, this is like something I really want to talk about. Then when you thought there was a ghost in your house, but it was actually a guy living upstairs,
right.
I was like, I'm all in. And then when I learned you were the only house on a highway intersection. Well, and then I was like, all right, this should just be another podcast, the Opie stories. Like, they're fucking incredible.
Well,
and just when I thought he couldn't get any better,
yeah,
he tells you the story of his brother trying to suck his own dick in the bathroom.
in the lukewarm water.
In lukewarm water.
Because he's the last guy.
He's trying to do it in the essence of Opie. He's got Opie's oil on.
I wasn't bathing with oils back then.
No, you're natural oil.
Maybe every
Back
once,
then?
well, every once in a while I might throw a little something in my bath. I might have thrown some decadence into my life because I didn't have it in the past.
Little WD-30, little WD-40.
I might have a
Wait,
bath bomb every once in a while.
Oh my God!
You'll take a bath with bubbles and all of that stuff, but you still won't use air conditioning to this day?
I just don't like air conditioning. It's how you were brought up. I don't want to sweat in bed.
He doesn't really. His house doesn't get hot. It's full of Carrera marble.
What a difference in one man's life.
Oh man, you've come a long.
What a difference! No,
way.
I would rather have fresh air. I mean, if it's really really hot where you're going to be sweating in bed, of course I would rather have AC. But any chance I get, I'd rather have the windows open because that's how I was brought up with the one fan, which we talked about on a past episode, that me and the 6, 7, 8, possibly 9 kids had to share. We all got a turn with the fan, and then we had 2 fans. My mom and dad got one, and we had to share the other one.
You had to share the kid fan.
Yeah, the kid fan. Yes.
I'm staying at this girl's house, and it's like staying at a fucking day spa. Like compared to the cabin, where like I had hot water for like 30 seconds until a squirrel came through the plumbing. Like she has like bulk of like body washes and all the pumps and
Nice.
Bro, I used her loofah. She's like, "What happened to this thing? Did it fall on the floor?" They looked like there was a hedgehog stuck in the loofah.
I was going to say it looks like a wet rat.
Oh,
after you're done with it. And that's just the hair coming off your body.
Dude, it was crazy, bro. I started laughing.
Yeah.
I'm using the loofah, and I think of it. I'm like, "Ha! Jiffy Pop, motherfucker." That's so funny.
You notice my hair is all right today because I talked about that.
Yeah. Oh, you had so much volume.
Because I think I used some kind of butt cleaner. I don't know because my mom. Oh my God! Wow, jeez, my wife. She loves products, and in one of the bathrooms has a lot of products. The one she mainly uses.
Right.
Because that's one of the secrets to a happy marriage is to have separate bathrooms.
Yes.
Opie, what were you doing in that wing?
But she has all this stuff, but it's in French and all these other languages. It doesn't just say shampoo or conditioner. So every once in a while, I have to guess. And I think I was putting some kind of butt cleaner on my head. But I came in here like a wild
It
scientist.
does. You look like you had blonde pubes.
So,
Opie, Lionel Richie.
so now my wife stocked my bathroom with it just simply says shampoo and conditioner.
Nice.
And one says 2-in-1, baby.
Oh, when you're in a rush.
2-in-1.
When he took that extra nap and he's late for the podcast.
But I was leaving the house today, speaking of my childhood stories, and I had a skip in my step and my wife's like, "What's up?" I go, "I got a few new stories for Carl today," and Carl really appreciates these stories, unlike some of the people I worked with in the past, which would just stare at me, and I'm like, "Come on, man, this stuff is gold."
Yeah,
This is gold. But anyway, I mentioned farming on the last episode,
I
Carl.
can't wait.
So, but it leads. Look, I have a whole page. It leads to a whole thing called how we saved money in our house.
Wow.
And it led to farming in our backyard.
I don't think people live like that anymore. Isn't that crazy?
What do you mean?
Like when
people farm, but not But
when I had a prosthetic family, the because it just comes right off. It's unbelievable.
Right.
Not more, God. But when I had a prosthetic family, we went out of our way to make believe that and nothing was wrong, even though sometimes things were wrong financially.
Yeah.
And I think that makes a weak person.
Yeah.
When we were growing up,
Yeah.
crazy.
Right.
The first thing I'd be like, "Good morning, Dad. We're fucking broke."
That's what my mom would
Yeah,
yell.
like all day.
You damn kids!
I'm gonna have to eat your father. Like it was almost a crisis all fucking day.
My mom put a lot of pressure on me money-wise. That's why I became a really good caddy because all my money had to go to the household.
Put
She
it in
put
his
a
walls.
lot
You know
of
that,
pressure.
Robert? He's put the money in the roll.
Wow, that's a past episode. Go dig that one up. But anyway, we were really fucking poor.
Right.
Really fucking poor. And
Well, there was 100 of you.
there was a lot of us, yeah. 7, 8, 9 kids, something like that. So
Thanks to the Catholic Church. Thank you, Church.
well, I told that story. I remember.
It's my favorite thing to tell. My favorite TV show is going on talking to Opie about it. So I was like,
Well, the phone call, I remember hearing it. My mom called our priest at Our Lady Queen of Martyrs and said, "You people told me to have all these kids. Now I need goddamn help raising them." Wow. Almost an exact quote.
wow.
And the church didn't help much. And
Well, they prayed for you.
Well, yeah, but
By the church, they said, send us the cute boys.
And that pissed off my mom though, because she grew up religious and she was following the faith and she was having the kids without the birth control, and obviously their rhythm method was a bit off.
You think?
A bit off.
At least they missed 7 times.
And I remember her saying, "It's because of you people. I have so many kids." It was you people.
Use people.
You people are the reason why I have so many kids, and now I need help raising them. I need money. I need food. I need clothing.
That's the number one way to trigger white people is when you say you people.
You people, yeah, exactly. So we got to a point where we were desperate. So my mom, I remember she was in front of the wood-burning stove, which I'll explain in a minute there, Carl.
Yes.
Look at you chomping at the bit.
I can't wait.
And I remember my mom having some kind of ceremony, some kind of ritual in front of the wood-burning stove as she's throwing all the credit cards in, just fucking cursing out everybody. No. Thinking if she gets rid of the credit cards, our debt will go way down.
No, it doesn't.
Which technically, I guess it does a little bit because you're not spending on those cards anymore, but it was already too late at that point.
Too
She
late.
maxed these bitches out.
Yeah, she's just burning plastic.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not burning debt there, honey.
Exactly.
Now you just don't know the number on the back to call.
Right. So I remember that. And the reason we got a wood-burning stove is because we canceled fuel deliveries.
Oh, you were the old oil heat.
We canceled it because they figured out if we get a wood-burning stove, we could heat this 2-story house of ours that had...
Yeah, if you sleep next to the wood-burning stove.
Well, that's what we ended up doing, a lot of us.
Please don't tell me
A lot of us, because in your room in the middle of winter, it got a little too fucking cold. So then you would grab your blanket and pillow and find a spot near the wood-burning stove. This is a true story. Because they figured they could save money on the fuel deliveries.
Got my hand up.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Where'd Daddy-O get the wood from?
Oh, that's a better fucking story.
Exactly.
That's a better fucking story.
Poor people talking to poor people. We're like 2 dogs in a dog park. I know all about this shit. Please tell us.
We became gatherers.
Yes.
We didn't pay for wood. We became gatherers. So
7 little wood stealers.
Yes. No, I wish we. Oh, you know what? We did steal some of the neighbor's wood because I remember we found. Wow, you're bringing back a memory.
Yes.
I remember finding a wood pile a couple houses down, and the wood was so old that it was sort of on the rotty side.
Yeah.
That I knew they weren't going to miss it. But one of our jobs was to go up in the woods. We had a big house with a decent lot with woods behind our house, and we had to go up there and collect anything we can that we could burn for the wood burning stove.
Why don't you all have
And
cancer?
dinner.
Huh?
And you had to get dinner.
Nice, Robert. Nice. And it would be twigs. We wouldn't find nice logs, although we became very good at chopping wood as very small kids.
So you had an axe, or was it the neighbor's
we had
axe?
we had an axe. And we had to chop our own wood at a very young age, way too young to be chopping wood.
Did he yell at you every time you put black plastic and shit in the wood burning oven? Like when
Oh my God! Yeah, that's the second part of the story, Carl. The Opster might have a little brain damage from burning plastic.
Yes, of course. I'm surprised all of you don't have like a breast growing in your back.
No, the wood burning stove served a couple purposes. It kind of
Mommy's credit card disposal
Mommy's
unit.
credit card, right? It heated the house, the giant house,
Keep the food
kind
warm.
of, right? And we also burned all our garbage in there. Not all of it, because that leads to another story, but a lot of it.
Your paper and stuff.
No, she would burn plastic. She would burn whatever the fuck she could.
Between that and living near 3 Mile Island, you're
Right. We would smell burning plastic in our house all the time.
You were your own incinerator.
Yes. It would kind of heat the house, and we would burn our garbage because that was the next thing I was going to talk about. We canceled garbage pickup to save money.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh yeah, back then municipals you could pay each one separately.
Yeah. We canceled garbage.
Pickup was a private thing.
We canceled garbage pickup.
Not where I grew up. You had to take it.
Well, Jersey.
Oh, really?
The guy shows up with a cigar and a fucking shotgun. I guess we're paying for garbage.
So, the woods in the back of the house, we got all that wood. There was nothing left.
It looked like you guys were building a ship.
Yeah. So my dad was always tricking us to get into the Volkswagen bus without the seats, so we could have more kids in the vehicle. Right. That's a true story too. I think I might have talked about that. Mm-hmm. And then we would go hunting for more wood for the wood burning stove to heat the house.
What was the summer situation like?
The summer situation?
You couldn't have the thing burning garbage in the summer.
Of course.
Oh my God.
Now the house was way too hot. No, of course.
So if I would drive down your neighborhood, it would just be a constant plume of black smoke.
Yeah,
we have a pope. We have a pope.
On the same page.
Oh my.
Rewind. You'll hear me firing up. And you beat me too, you bitch. Good for you, Littlefoot. Good for you.
Fucking Littlefoot with the fucking zinger.
No, so in the summer, the house would be too hot because she was still burning the garbage, even though we didn't have to heat the house anymore, but we still had to get rid of as much garbage as we can. But my dad would load us up into the VW bus without the seats. He would find the woods, other woods, I should say, and it was always under the guise of, why don't you guys go play army in the woods? And, oh, by the way, throw some logs and some rocks down for the rock wall, but that's a story for another time.
The what?
The rock wall.
No, that's a story for right.
The rock wall.
That is not a story for another motherfucking time.
Well, when you're stealing neighbors' wood and you needed to build a fortress, right? It's a farm and a camp.
Your life was exhausting. Now you're taking naps just because of what happened to you.
Well,
you're still tired from being 10.
Bravo. All right, so we would jump in the Volkswagen bus. Under the guise, we were playing in the woods. My dad was taking us on an adventure, but there was always an ulterior motive.
Yes.
In this case, trying to get as much wood for the wood-burning stove to heat the house in the winter, right? When my mom wasn't burning the garbage and the plastics. But we ran out of wood, and that wasn't working as well. Although it worked well for the rock wall, which I'll get to in a second.
Please.
But I gotta finish up the wood burning stove thing. When we ran out of wood, my dad got a paper log roller.
Oh my God.
They're like, wait a minute. We get the paper delivered all the time. Neighbors leave out their piles of papers, so we had to comb the neighborhood and grab everyone else's old newspapers. And then our jobs, all of us, 6, 7, 8 kids, we all took a shift rolling paper logs for the wood burning stove to heat the house.
So all the neighbors were like, here come the fucking fleet of you kids. You guys were like the Sand people from Star Wars. Just fucking just stealing shit all the fuck with your little homemade clothes and their robes and shit. Now, why the fuck were you building a rock wall?
Well, but the paper log thing, like, we got really good at that, and then we had wire. We had to tie these things with wire, and then they would burn very, very good.
Well, it's paper and ink.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
how are you all still alive? Is anyone dead?
We're dead inside. It just hasn't reached our hearts yet. Well, the rock wall was to keep us out of my mom's hair, which, she was nuts. She was nutso. A bit on the mentally ill side.
So you were doing, that's what they do in prison to keep you fucking busy.
Bro,
they dig ditches and build walls.
The twins, my one twin.
God bless those two.
He said we didn't have bedrooms, we had barracks.
Right. Yeah, those are barracks.
And we would all laugh, but my brother's like, no, seriously. At one time we had 5 boys in one room with 2 sets of bunk beds.
That's a barracks.
So the twins had to share one.
And then what happened when the whistle went off? You guys went to go make the wall?
So I'm really good at making cement. All my brothers are really good at making cement. I could work for the union easily.
Oh, They don't want you.
I know they don't want me, but I know my way around making cement.
You'd be the guy at the union that's like always taking shit home. Like,
right.
Where's all the rebar? Fucking check Hughes' truck.
We made hundreds and hundreds of wheelbarrow filled of fresh cement. We found a sand pit in the back of our yard that collapsed once on one of the twins, but he was okay.
He was okay.
He was okay.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, we were making so much cement that our little sand pile pit we found, it was dug right into the hill.
So you had a quarry.
Yeah, and it was getting deeper and deeper to get in there to get the
What
sand.
day during the week did you guys go to school? Wednesday? You fucking wild animals.
So my dad got the idea to build rock walls.
Where?
All over the place. And then
For what? Just
I don't know for what. That's the point here.
that was just to keep you
Like
busy.
to frame the property.
Well, it would frame the driveway.
so you could put the corn over here, and
But
the
then it
tomato.
would frame the backyard, which didn't really need framing. And then we couldn't build any more rock walls. So then he decided to make a second tier of rock walls, which didn't make sense. And then after that, we started on the paths
You made paths.
that led to nowhere. They led to nowhere. He built stairs that led into the woods. Why would you need that? It was to keep us busy. I'm convinced.
So you built concrete stairs?
Oh yeah, I know my cement work.
Holy shit, like a mason.
Yeah, I would have to take I would have to brush up on it a little bit, but
you
it
can
would
bang
come
out
back quick.
But if I'm like Opie, bang out a wall.
Yes, easily. Oh, this batch is a little too on the watery side. Then you knew how to fix that.
Add a little bit more sand.
All that, I know all that, man. The consistency,
Oh, that's fucking impressive. Huh?
Yeah. Anyway, so you remember the VW bus going for the wood?
Yeah.
And gathering the wood. We also
Sorry, I
had to
got
gather.
sidetracked because he's like, bring down some rocks. I'm like, wait a second.
We also had to gather rocks. So my dad would trick us like, "Well, while you're playing Army today, I don't know if you see any rocks, just roll them down the hill." And as a kid, you're like, "Fuck yeah, this is cool."
Right.
And there's a road at the bottom of the hill. My dad didn't care because he was getting his rocks, and we would roll giant rocks down the hill and throw them and stuff.
Because there's 7 of you. You're like a little
Right.
ant family, like ant farm.
But the problem was then it was hard labor because then we get down and we're exhausted from playing Army in the woods, and now we have to load up the VW bus with all the rocks. You would think he would be loading up the rocks as we're rolling them.
Dad's a foreman, and he's going to do foreman shit.
He was the foreman. And so then we just... I can't tell you how many rocks and how many rock walls in the house
Just to build one rock wall.
We're talking thousands of rocks. No joke. Thousands. Not hundreds, thousands. And then my dad hit the jackpot. My dad was you could relate to this, I think, in a way. He was a barterer. He knew how to barter.
Barter's good.
Barter back in the day. And somehow he made a trade with a guy that was really rich. We got to go to a rich neighborhood. He had leftover cobblestones from his cobblestone driveway.
Oh, boy.
Jackpot for my dad and the kids.
Oh, what'd you guys build?
We
A brick kiln to make fucking
we
pottery?
An outdoor.
We framed out our driveway with nice little cobblestones. It was a giant driveway. I don't know what my dad gave this guy because we had nothing.
Probably another kid that you thought was a ghost.
I've noticed
I hear
the
you guys can't have kids. I got one.
since we started, it was like 9, 10, 11. Then it's 9, 10. Now you're at 8.
Hey, kids? Yeah.
But my question is, were there kids in the neighborhood that went missing or had wronged any of your brothers? I'm just curious as to why all the cement work. Again, Jersey.
We had the crazy household with the crazy mom, and I'll give her a little credit. For some reason, it was the place to be because kids that were going bad with their families always ended up at our house. And then they would be living with us for a month or two at a time. And then we would decide, should we make them a sister or a brother? And every once in a while, someone would make the cut.
Was there a ceremony for this? It was a cult.
Right.
Somebody got to give him the old Hughes scepter. Make you part of the family. There's a little DNA, little boy.
And then, I wrote this down. So we canceled garbage pickup, too, to save some money. So no fuel deliveries, and no credit cards anymore.
I know what's coming. You know what's coming, right,
Which
Robert?
meant that, know why she burnt the credit cards to bring it all together? I was starting to do well at the Crescent Club, the Huntington Crescent Club, to go local, and my brothers were also caddies, and they did well. So we were bringing cold hard cash into the house. So I think that was her way of going, I could get rid of these fucking credit cards and use their cash. And then she'd write in a little note. I hate notebooks to this day because my mom's like, I'm writing everything down. Every dollar you gave me, I'm going to give it back to you someday.
Nothing.
She gave it back to me when I was a millionaire.
Did she really give it back to you?
Some.
But it was your money, right?
And then I took it, and then some of my siblings got mad at me. I'm like, tough shit.
You took it.
This is 14-year-old Gregg taking this money.
How much did you take back?
I think she ended up giving me like 10 G's back.
She borrowed 10 G's from a 14.
Oh, no, it was way more. Way more. Way more. That's why I started hiding. I started skimming off the top and hiding money in the wall. No, I was really good at caddying, and I was at the golf course all day. And in the summer, all day, 6 days a week. So I was bringing home cold hard cash.
So in the beginning, you would give her all the money?
All the money. And then I was like, wait a minute, this is really stupid because she's just writing it in a book. There's no way. And I knew our financial situation. I'm like, there's no way I'm getting any of this back. And then it was frustrating because I could pay for anything I needed, but I couldn't because I gave all my money to my mom. So as my friends were buying new sneakers and all stuff you buy as a teenager, I couldn't. I was still like poor.
Fucking
I'm like,
socialism.
fuck this.
Fucking socialism.
Yeah. So I started skimming off the top so I could pay for my own movies and a hamburger here and there, and my baseball cards and my new sneakers and a a new shirt or jeans.
No wonder
every
you
once
didn't
in a
get
while.
laid until you were 18. You're full of cement with no money.
I had powdered cement in my hair.
You hit on something really interesting, just from
Robert.
a serious perspective. You
Yeah.
said you were skimming off the top. This was your own money.
Yeah.
You weren't skimming off the top. You were.
No.
The fact
no.
that you think that you were skimming adds to the sort of damage that was done early
Power
on.
parenting, man. It's when you're you're a child, your world is completely different.
You're scared shitless of your parents. And
Right.
my thing was my mom was exhausting in the house, right? She had good qualities, by the way. Maybe we'll do that on another
she had
episode.
legs.
Yeah, but she had good qualities, but
She had to work the wood burning stove.
She knew how to work the stove good.
she knew how to tell a good story. I think
Yeah.
I think I got that.
You got that from her?
I hope. Anyway, I think I tell a decent story at times. So, but living in that house was exhausting. So the choice was to be in the house all day, where it was exhausting for real. Everyone was getting yelled at left and right constantly. Or leave and go to the Huntington Crescent Club and hang out at a country club for 12 hours a day, and talk to people and get exercise. I'm an athlete by nature and I love exercise. So it was like, wait, I could be out of the house by 5 a.m, be up there as the sun's coming up, take my first loop, hanging out with the guys because we had a.
Did they feed you up there? You probably got free food.
We would go to the deli and get our egg and whatever it was on a
which was
on a
nice
roll.
compared to like powdered toast
Oh,
and
yeah,
fucking
with a-
gruel back in the
with the
colonial Williamsburg that you lived in.
with the Tropicana. Tropicana fresh orange juice. We would, Long Island's known for their buttered rolls.
Of course.
I don't have to tell you.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even put eggs on it. That's how good the buttered rolls were.
Oh,
you would almost would waste it by putting an egg on it.
People, you know what's funny that you say that? There's sometimes when I come back to the Northeast, the first thing that I eat, before I start posting shit on Instagram for all these fucking mouth breathers,
Yeah.
I sit and I get a hard roll with butter on it. That's it. Warm, like toasted, warm.
Yes.
You know how good that shit is?
It's simply amazing.
It's simply amazing.
It really is amazing.
Sometimes I get soft scrambled eggs on there with the butter.
Right.
And then it's perfect.
Yeah.
But once you put bacon or Taylor ham,
Yeah.
then it's lost.
And then at the Huntington Crescent Club, even though I knew all my money was going to the household, it was a blast every day. And then on a slow day, the caddy bench with all the other caddies, all walks of life, assholes, old drunks, and everything in between. You learned about life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're sitting and just talking shit about everybody and everything, and
You learn how to be
reading
funny.
books, and hopefully.
Yeah, you learn how to be funny.
But anyway, so that was my choice, and I knew. Yeah,
And you brought home money.
I brought home money and then finally woke up and went, wait a minute, just make sure you have enough money in the wall, when you fucking escape this.
And which rock wall was yours?
That's really funny.
But anyway, where were we? So the rock wall, I said that. The garbage pickup, yes. So we canceled garbage pickup. So we had to bring, my mom couldn't burn in the wood burning stove. We loaded up the VW bus again, and another trick by my dad because he needed help unloading this at the dump. come on, kids, another adventure. Let's go play, you know. And we would go to the dump to unload our own garbage. And I remember to this day the smell of that place. Just as you're getting close, it was unbearable.
Long Island.
And then we would dump our garbage, and then my dad, to keep, I guess, us out of my mom's hair a little longer, would let us play in the dump for a while.
In the garbage pile.
In the garbage
You
dump.
played in the landfill.
Yeah.
In Long Island.
Yeah. That's why I think I grow spots of hair on places in my body that hair shouldn't grow. I'll show you my shoulders.
Oh, I'm good, bro.
I got to shave my body a couple times a year because I get blotches of hair in places you shouldn't be getting hair.
Oh, Opie, what were you doing in the landfill? I mean, imagine your day. Your day was burning plastic and playing in the garbage fill.
And my hair got a little redder, so I think there was something going
See,
on.
it's called cancer.
And then the grandmother living next to a nuclear power plant.
I know. Then you would go swim by 3 Mile Island.
Well, we would go in the creek clamming, which was right next
Yeah.
to Shoreham, right next to Shoreham's power plant out there in Wading River.
Please don't
That's
tell me
a
you
true
made.
story.
Please don't tell me you made your own food. You had to at one.
What do you
point.
mean made our own food?
Did you make your own food at the house?
What do you mean?
Like, were you a farmer also?
Oh well, that's how this all started from the last episode.
This is what I'm waiting for.
Oh, this is what you're waiting for.
Cue it up, Joey. Put on some farming music. Boo, 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 boo.
All right, so.
Boo, 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 boo.
You know, I'm starting to think if this podcasting doesn't work out, I could go back to my cement work. I could be a farmer easily.
But you could live in the woods. You're like a woods guy. You make believe it or not, but you're
easily.
the one thing you love the cabin so much. You're like, I can survive out here.
It brought back memories, looking out into your woods and stuff.
Because that's what your house
He
was,
was-
rolling
yeah.
rocks down the
Yeah.
hill.
He was scouting. That'll be good for the stove. That'll be good for the stove.
Yeah. Oh my God.
We loved playing in the woods until we weren't allowed anymore.
What happened? Oh
You
God.
gotta wait.
This is too much.
You gotta wait.
This is too much stuff.
Well, and it's funny because it's the whole farming leads to that. Why we can't play in the woods anymore.
Did you burn something down?
We burnt the entire woods.
Yes, yes.
I can't tease that anymore. The entire woods.
Yes.
2, not 1, 2 fire departments.
Booing down the house.
2 fire departments.
Wait, was
That's
this
a
the Great
two-alarmer?
Long Island Forest Fire of 1978?
Behind our house, we had a lot of woods that led to a house on the top of the hill that you could see. So picture that in your mind, okay? So me and my brothers, we're young, man. I'm in grammar school. I'm 12. So I'm 12. My brother's 11. My other brother's 10. And then the twins are around 4 at this point, I guess. 4 or 5.
Terrified.
But I don't think they were part of the burning down the woods. I got to ask them, though. So we would go to the woods and play Army and all that, and we would get bored, and we learned about matches. So we would start.
Learned about matches, of course. Your mom's burning shit all day.
Right.
All you guys are like pyrotechnicians.
Blame you, Mom.
Yeah.
So we started, starting little fires in the woods.
Everybody does.
with a little pile of leaves, like,
Yeah.
ooh, and we'd have our army, the Green Army soldiers, and we'd set up, and now there's a fire as we're battling. You know
Yeah.
the deal, you're just being a kid. And then, of course, if you build one little fire, you want to take it a little further and build a bigger fire. But as little kids, in your little kids' minds, you're thinking, we can handle this situation.
Yeah,
No
we got
problem.
it.
We got this. And then one of my brothers would be like, okay, if we're going to build a bigger fire, let's sweep everything away from it so it doesn't catch on fire somewhere else.
there's fire
so
safety
we got
guy.
we got to contain fire.
Right.
So we can play with our army men, right?
Fire doesn't work that way.
So one day we're doing all that, and I remember it distinctly. Just a little gust of wind.
That's it.
Just a little.
And the devil's hand touched the forest.
And then all of a sudden that flame just kind of jumped to another pile, and we're like, oh, that's okay, right?
God still.
So now we're sort of not panicking yet, but we're like, all right, we better fucking put that fire out. So we're putting out the new fire that's a little fire. As that's happening,
Again.
again to another. Long story short, we have an all-out fire in the woods.
Oh my!
And if you know my mom, you don't want to go home with any fucking problems.
So you just came home quiet and let the woods burn.
Well, no, we panicked. We went into full panic mode trying to put it out ourselves. Our sneakers were burned. We have soot on our faces. We all used to wear white T-shirts back then for some reason. There's just soot all over
You're
them.
like a prison.
Right. Now we're watching the flames just going up the hill toward the house.
Oh God.
We didn't call the fire department. That's how bad the fire was. Somebody else did because we're like, we can't go and tell mom and dad, especially mom, that we just set the woods on fire. She would literally kill us.
And this is directly behind your house.
Yes. But the wind's blowing the other direction. Our house was fine.
Of course.
I got to ask my brothers, but no, I'm almost positive our house was fine, but I'm not sure if they watered it down just to make sure. It was a big fucking fire. And it started touching the house at the top of the woods. They put the whole thing out. Now they're putting their gear away. We're lined up in the backyard. They know it's us. And they're pointing at us like, so, you boys want to tell us about this fire? And my mom's there with her arms folded.
My God.
In her bathrobe, even though it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. My dad's like, fuck, I got to deal with this shit. Right? And all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm thinking, I got it. I got this.
Right.
I go, and it was an officer. I go, officer, me and my brothers were playing in the woods, and I saw some oily rags.
You're the worst. You're the worst. I would have tased you right there.
You did the spontaneous combustion defense?
Well, I remember when we were doing fire safety in 6th grade, they said something about don't keep oily rags laying around. It could cause a fire. So in my dumb little 12-year-old brain, I'm thinking this will get us out of this.
Nope.
Nope.
Did you look at you and go, boo?
My mom was screaming and yelling to the point that the officers, the police, and the fire department were like, oh, fuck. She's got this.
There's nothing we can do to punish these kids.
She's got this.
You're lucky they didn't hit you with arson or anything, right?
No kid. Well, we were really young, though.
Yeah,
man.
they didn't know what they were going to do.
So then we were grounded for the whole summer. We weren't allowed to go in the woods the whole summer. And we could only play on the driveway that didn't have the fence with the basketballs and the hockey pucks going into the busy road, 25A out there on Long Island. And we would have cousins over, and it was really cruel because they were allowed to run around the woods, which was heaven for a 12-year-old. Heaven. We had a tree fort. That's a story for another day.
And
we made it out of rotting wood.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we had problems with our tree fort.
So you said it was a tree fort with a bunch of fucking caterpillars and moths coming out of the wood? Oh, this is so disgusting. The smell of rotting wood. Jesus, Opie, your life sucked.
And
It sucked.
And we couldn't play in our backyard because we turned that into a farm to save money. Because they got the bright idea with 6, 7, 8, at this point maybe 9 kids. We could save money on groceries by growing our own vegetables
and stuff.
Yeah. So
Well, they did have the labor. I mean, did you guys work the farm?
Oh, that's the story, brah.
This is a chain gang, Opie.
That's the story, brah.
Can I call Dyfus on somebody?
That's
Your neighbors must have been like looking out the window.
That's the story.
Like, what is wrong with this family? Like, who are these Amish that are living next to us?
That's the story. So
I'm sorry, I feel bad.
You got to picture the backyard though. It was a nice sized backyard.
Can we do a pod from the woods in the backyard? Can we get there?
I mean, I think they sold the house at this
I
point.
don't give a fuck who's there.
Yeah, it sat there for a long time, but I think the town finally, or the bank finally took the house.
So somebody else owns the house now.
I think so.
We just show up with a camera crew. They'll let us right in.
They'll let me in.
I mean, if I could get it, I would do a nice video of the house I grew up in. I think people would eat it up.
Oh, I would love it.
So anyway, we should podcast from there. We could
I'm
try to do
telling
that.
you, yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I gotta ask my brother.
What town
what's
is
going on. It's out there on Long Island.
What town is it?
Huntington.
Oh, it's in Huntington.
Yeah. So
It's probably a $20 million house.
no, not even no.
It's still in the Mexican part of Huntington?
no.
Oh, is it what we
It's
call
in the-
Orale? The Orale part?
Ours is the house that has been sitting there since my dad died for 14 years, is rotting away. It's one of those houses that is a blemish on the neighborhood.
It's always been a blemish.
So our backyard, just so you picture, is big enough for 6, 7, 8 kids and their friends to play. It was a decent sized wiffle ball bat, whatever, field.
Diamond, yeah.
Yeah, it was big enough where you could throw frisbees and whatnot, okay? Not giant, but big enough. So they get the bright idea to save money, we could grow our own vegetables. So we had to turn over our beautiful, it wasn't a beautiful lawn. We didn't really take care of the lawn because of all the kids, but we had to prepare the backyard for seeds.
For tilling.
For tilling. But this is where I bring in the brand new bikes that the twins got.
You used them as tillers?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I'm thinking worst case scenario.
No, they were modified.
God, please don't tell me.
So
the twins were oxen?
The twin.
Get those twins. Someone send them an edible arrangement.
I just have this vision in my head of the 7 dwarves out there plowing the field.
Just imagine they all had white T-shirts on, little dirty white kids with dirty
overalls. There were overalls.
dirty
Please tell me
nails.
there were overalls.
They took a bath in the same water. These kids were dirty for decades.
No, and we
They had 10-year-old dirt on them.
Oh, we didn't take baths every day. God, no. Maybe twice a week.
Oh, your
I would
sheets
guess.
must
Maybe.
have been gross.
I am going to rescind my bath joke from before. You've earned it.
So the twins, they're really young. They get brand new bikes, which confused the rest of us because we live on a busy road. And
your dad felt bad
as-
because of the accidental drowning.
And as irresponsible my parents were at times, they were smart enough not to get us bikes knowing that we lived on a busy road. Although we rode them in a
Goes
tight...
back to my fucking theory. They were trying to off the twins the whole fucking time.
But
Well, the twins figured out how to. Your parents didn't get them the bikes. The twins had to fend for themselves because they were the youngest. They probably, beat 2 kids up down the street. They were the ones who watched all the older kids and figured out how to run right down the middle of the field.
They were too busy trying not to get killed.
Well, fast forward, one of the twins lost their bike to one of the tenants who was a drug addict and stole the bike to get money for drugs. I think I told that story in a past episode. So to tie that in. So they get brand new bikes. They're young. A little confused, like we don't really get brand new bikes here. And my dad, remember, he always had an ulterior motive. All of a sudden, he's looking at these bikes and he's like, another new game. So he modified the bikes. He put a chain between the 2 bikes and some kind of 2x4 or some kind of piece of wood. And then the twins were rolling the bikes in the backyard, smoothing out the soil so we could plant.
So you played
kids were
farm.
oxen.
They played farm.
No, they didn't play farm.
No,
That
no,
was dead
they were
fucking
doing
serious
farming, but the way your dad put it together, this is a game. This is a game.
It was always a game.
Can you just tell everybody right now that it's the twins who invented this stupid Farmville game? We're gonna get back at everybody.
Fucking Robert.
But it didn't work. It was stupid. It was 2 bikes that you couldn't ride the bike obviously. So you're pushing the bike with this some kind of 2x4. I'm trying to remember exactly how it was set up. That was
tilling.
Yeah, that was flattening the land a little bit.
Oh my God.
And then we planted all our vegetables.
What vegetables did you plant in that bullshit farm?
We went tomatoes. We also had strawberry patches all over.
Which take a lot of space.
But the gerbils, not the gerbils, the chipmunks.
The
chipmunks ate the shit out of our strawberries. But we had carrots, we had tomatoes, we had cucumbers. We grew our own horseradish, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Is it called horseradish?
Horseradish, yeah.
With a giant white?
Yeah.
That was the one thing that did grow nicely.
Horseradish. What did you do with it? You just fucking...
I don't remember. I guess we shaved it down.
Oh, God, you were eating horseradish and you were dirty. And
right. But our vegetables looked very sickly.
I can imagine. All the kids peeing on the fucking grass all the time.
That was a great day when we got our backyard back, when they realized that wasn't going to work too well.
Oh, so the farm went under?
The farm went under, yeah.
Oh, I mean, you got a bunch of fucking little Long Island kids running a farm.
But today, that would be a tourist trap.
Huh?
That would be a tourist trap today.
It would.
Oh, yeah, it would.
Watch the little white immigrants fucking living in Huntington.
No, you could turn it into some artisanal shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man. Opie, I can't believe your fucking life, man. What a
Well, this was,
what did
this was all sparked because on the last episode we were saying something and it brought back the memory of the farming and turning our backyard into a farm. And then
Unbelievable.
Then I'm remembering all the ways that my mom was trying to cut corners to pay the bills and feed us and stuff. So
I'm gonna go to Philly this weekend.
my dad, huh?
Just thinking out loud.
Oh, really? My dad thought we were going to be okay, and he would always famously say, "I can live in a van down by the river." For real,
Almost did.
for real. I mean, he said it differently, but then Chris Farley put it perfectly.
Right.
But he was like, I could be in a van as long as I'm near water because I feel free when I'm near water and this and that. And my mom's like, "That's great, but we got a ton of kids that we need to feed."
Right.
You know, because he was an entrepreneur.
And being an entrepreneur is tough because I'm sure he had those times where we made a ton of money.
Ton of money. I think we
everybody
talked about
got
it.
cool. Like everybody got like colored T-shirts that week.
I always
Haynes.
I always got uncomfortable around Christmas because that was the one time a year they splurge. Our Christmases were off the hook. But then in your little brain, because you remember everything else that went on during the year, you're thinking, how are they paying for this? How are they paying for this? And that would put stress on you. But our Christmases were crazy good.
Really, every
Crazy
time.
good. And then they would max out the credit cards for that. And then, of course, she would burn them in
She would burn the credit cards in
and
the
then
oven.
around July, she's burning them in the wood-burning stove with the rest of the plastic.
Oh, my God, Opie, what a life,
We would
man.
beg her to stop burning the plastic because we're learning about stuff in school. I'm like, this is not good for us. You can't be burning plastic in the house.
Unbelievable. And she didn't give a
She didn't give a fuck, no. And
Unbelievable.
And then she became the can lady in our neighborhood.
No, your neighbors must be like,
She
these
became the
fucking
can
people.
lady.
With the shopping cart?
And some of this was like, she was convinced it was a good money-making scheme, and then maybe I was gonna blame that on her mental illness. That's not fair. But remember when they finally got the deposit? This is something I'm just remembering.
Go ahead.
So then, like,
The nickel deposit?
we would pick up our friends. You know how your mom or your dad, playing chaperone and going, all right, let's pick up your friend. We'll drive you to the bowling alley
Right.
or the roller rink or the movie theater
See,
or
I
the
didn't have
mall.
that problem because no one went with us because we were Spanish. We weren't allowed to pick up the white friends. They would just be like, just tell Mrs. Ruiz we'll meet them there. Nobody liked it when my mom got in the car. They're like, oh, fuck that. No way.
But we would pick up our friends, and the car would smell of beer from all the empties. Because my mom she would jump into dumpsters in the neighborhood trying to get the cans.
I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed even listening to this.
for the
I'm embarrassed. Sophie, I'm embarrassed. I swear to God, I don't get embarrassed. I feel embarrassed.
This is real shit, though.
Oh my God, how are you?
My
not,
mom worked
How are you
hard.
not crying right now with a bottle of scotch next to you?
I think it's hilarious.
You had a worse life than I
But
did.
she would collect. She was good at it, and she would come home with garbage bags filled with cans, and it was supplementing some food. I would guarantee that. But then she was doing so well that the cans went from being just in the trunk of a decent car. I remember the car being decent to the back seat of the car, and then we had to take all those cans out to pick up our friends. Thus, then why it smelled like beer because they were old beer cans and whatnot.
She knew all the spots to get the can.
All the spots in the neighborhood. Yes.
And then she'd go get them weighed and get paid?
Yes.
Weighed and paid, Ma.
Yeah. Wow. So, yeah.
My uncle was more into drug trafficking. I was crazy. He was a big drug dealer in
Who was?
my uncle.
Really?
I was like uncle, not related, on my mother's side. My mother's an only child, but they call him the uncle. So he showed up to my house with a 1987 Porsche 930S slant nose convertible, fucking with the white cell phone.
Jesus.
And my mom's like, "Don't go outside." I'm like, "Oh, I'm going outside."
How old were you?
I was like 14, 12, and I was like, "This is my new idol. You're my Superman."
Really?
And my brother's like, "I'm gonna get." Mom said I'm getting the car. I'm like, "You're a fucking pussy. Let's go, Gus."
Wow.
And it took me. The first time I went 100 miles an hour in a 911 convertible.
I mean, all that stuff I just told you, we were still brought up very protected, and you were the other way, man. You were smart on the streets at an early age.
Bro, the streets raised me, man. And my brother was the complete opposite. And he had the same exposure I did, but he was just like...
He went the other way.
And no matter where we'd go, he would fuck it up, man.
Really?
I mean, the one time we went out he was older, and we go to this party, and I don't know what the fuck. Like, he's talking to these bunch of girls. I'm like, oh, wow, he's talking to fucking girls. Like, wow, look, chicken George go.
Right.
So my friend goes, go over there, listen to what he's fucking, this asshole's saying. He's like, well, because when you have your period, he's like pre-med, and he's telling them all about, I'm like, what are you?
Oh, my God.
So he's got four girls talking about menstrual cycles. I'm like, boo! It was the worst. He shit the bed every time he went out.
Why would he do that?
Oh, it was so bad.
But
I
then,
remember, like, he broke up with a girl. You'd come home crying. Like, why are you crying?
Right.
You're not crying to your mother? Stop crying. It's fucking weird. Let's go to Dairy Queen. Fucking pick up some new girls.
Oh, my God. We weren't, I told you on a past episode, we really weren't allowed to have girlfriends.
No, see, that's one thing about the Latin community. My dad's like, go across the street.
Right.
Get everybody pregnant.
Right.
It's party time.
Right. We didn't bring girls to our house or anything.
Oh, dude, I used to walk around with a bottle just to play spin the bottle.
Right.
Fucking
Oh,
everyone,
wow.
Yeah.
You want to hear one last horrifying story?
I can't wait. I'm embarrassed. Like, it made me feel awkward. Like, when you're like for you to be that age and know that your mom is swimming through dumpsters. Oh my God.
She fucking made a lot of money, though.
Oh, I hear you, Ope, but it's hard.
But I remember we were starting to get older going, oh, my God, there's Mom!
Ma! Like yelling, Ma, get out, Ma!
But you know how I had that I don't give a shit attitude?
Right.
My mom would just wait like,
Hey, kids!
like she's just enjoying the hell out of her
The
day.
praying mantis on her head.
Right.
The squirrel on her back.
That's what my wife will tell you every time you talk to her, that I just don't give a shit.
No, you really don't give a shit.
I'll leave the house looking fucking weird.
Like
and
right
stuff.
now.
I dressed up for this.
He put jeans on today.
Yeah.
I mean, those shoes, every day I see them. It's like someone else is going looking for cans.
No, those are the wood shoes.
But she would just wave and like didn't give a fuck.
Right.
So I just got the hiccup.
But it made you who you are.
Yeah. So my brother, I won't mention names because I don't know how much of this stuff they want to deal with.
I'm sure a lot less than you.
No. When we get together, we do this too. So
I would love to get in the room.
That would be an amazing
That would
show.
be an amazing.
So, but I'll leave names out. They know who they are. But my one brother went against the rules.
Right.
See, I'll tell you right now, if you're a strict parent, that kid is going to act up.
Right.
He's going to act out, act up. So when I turned 18 and went to Geneseo, I was a fucking mess because I had freedom and didn't know what the fuck to do with it.
Dangerous when you get
now
everything all at once. Like,
And now I'm realizing, holy fuck, girls really like me. You know, you're just like, wow.
did you take more showers when you were by yourself? Like now that you had like access to a shower, and
all
everything?
that stuff. But I mean,
Your brother must have been sucking his dick like crazy.
But to slowly like work into dating and stuff, I went from not allowed to have anything to wow.
Yeah, you're the one you lost your virginity doing doggy style. Who the fuck does that?
Yeah, that's true.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but anyway, so my brother went against the rules.
Good for him.
And like I decided to be a good boy. I didn't want to deal with my mom's wrath. So all the rules. We had a dumb curfew. It was like 11 o'clock in high school. I was there, and if I walked in at 11:02, it was brutal. She didn't give you any leeway.
Right.
But my brother was like, fuck all that. He had girlfriends. He's smoking.
In the house?
No, but he would come home, and they knew he was smoking.
Smoking butts.
And that would cause problems, and yelling and screaming, and doors coming off the hinges, and
shit.
holes in the wall. It's just crazy. That's the dark side of my upbringing. But my brother had a girlfriend.
She hot?
And he would sneak her into the house when no one was around.
Did you ever get a little taste?
And he got some action.
But did you ever watch like under the bed?
No, God, no.
I don't know.
We didn't
How
even-
about the twins?
No, we didn't even know she was in there because he made sure. The
Were you
house
scared
was
because
clear.
there was a ghost upstairs?
This is a bad story, man. I don't know if I should tell it.
Come on, we can do this. We'll finish it up with this one.
This just shows how evil my mom could be, though. So they're just teenagers, 16, 17. They're probably having sex, right? My brother definitely wasn't 18 when he lost his virginity.
He was like the Casanova of the squad?
He was one out of the 7 official kids.
He was younger than you.
Yeah, by not much. But out of the 7 of us, there was 5 of us played the game with my mom. Like, we ain't dealing with this shit. And 2 were like, would fucking do whatever they wanted.
Fuck you, Ma.
Right.
And
So
set off the volcano.
So this girl, teenage girl that my brother really liked at the time, she left her panties behind in the house that my mom
They
found.
always do that. The girls like doing it.
Look at Robert putting his head down. Any other mom would maybe sit their son down, have a little conversation. I don't really want this in my house, or whatever.
She sold the panties to a fetish place in Japan. I'm just going the money route.
She burned him in the wood stove.
She burned it. She couldn't get the money on eBay, so she burned them on the wood stove. Sorry, I had to.
Bravo. Anyone want to guess what you did with the panties? What's the worst thing you could do with the panties?
Put them on. What's the second one?
Left him on the kitchen table.
She mailed them to her
No! No!
This is what I had to deal with growing up.
She mailed him to the girl.
Girl's mom.
Dear Mom.
Not to the girl, to the mom with a letter with the word whore.
No!
Yes.
Wow.
That's my childhood, ladies and
That
gentlemen.
is breathtaking.
That's my childhood.
Joey, wrap it up and put a self-help number at the end of this goddamn podcast.
That's
if you're hurting out there, people.
That's the dark side.
Wow.
That is
of my house.
And your
Right.
brother didn't pack up his shit and go right then?
No, but he.
Well, I mean, he could have helped him. I mean, if she wasn't she didn't like him. If he didn't like her, then it's a way.
Any
good way
other
to get rid of
parent, look, maybe it's a tough situation for some parents, but you sit your kid down, whatever. I don't know, have a conversation. She lost her mind, and not with my brother not knowing, because then my brother has to find out on the other side one day when he's just going through his life.
Right.
Like, oh, I got to talk to you. What? Oh, you're not gonna believe this.
So the girlfriend gets in trouble.
I don't know if
with
the
her
girl. I
mother.
don't know. Maybe her mom was cool. I have no idea.
Or it's like, but you don't want to be anywhere near
Nobody's
that
cool
thing.
about getting your 6-year-old daughter's panties in the mail with a letter that says whore. Nobody's cool, not even to this day.
It wasn't just. It was a letter.
Right.
But the word whore was in it.
Let me
When they
ask
were
you-
just being innocent teenage kids.
Let me ask you now. We're all street guys now. We all know what's going on. Do you think that your mother was this way about specifically sex and women, for the simple reason that she had a lot of boys, and she knew if any of you knock somebody up, she's going to have another mouth to feed with a baby?
Oh yeah, she was scared shitless.
Yeah.
That
That had
was-
to be it.
That was.
But she was just trying to keep the population low.
scared shitless.
Scared shit. It was like a
Yeah.
worst nightmare.
Yeah, and
Bunch of good-looking boys in white T-shirts
I like
and
to-
dirty fingernails.
I
running
like
along
to
there.
think that we were a good-looking family
Yeah.
growing up and all that. So yeah, that played into it. Might have played into her childhood and her family.
Whatever
life,
happened with her
which
shit,
was
yeah.
pure evil.
Oh God! Just generations of crazy.
I told you about my mom's mom, right?
No.
Nuh-uh.
Oh, I don't know how much I can tell. So much information. Because I like details and it's just a story. It's too much for me, Opie. My eye hurts. from the
This is
inside.
a whole other series. This is like a whole true
I
crime.
might have to tell the precious story some other time.
Oh my God, this is
I'll
like,
tell the precious story some other time and how.
I love this is like Star Wars where you start like and
Yeah,
then we'll
I
have the
got it.
past stories.
No, it'll be too long. But basically, my mom's mom was pure evil, and I give my mom credit because she knew that. And my mom's mom treated us really badly, especially my. I say half sister because my older sister had a different mom, which played into it with my mom. Right. I mean, it was all of our moms. Don't get me wrong, but so my mom's mom treated her bad, and treated the rest of us not that great. So my mom disowned her own mother to protect us. Yeah. So.
We just need to take a minute.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And then I fast forward a million years, I saw her on her deathbed.
Your mother, your own mother.
No, my mom's mom.
Oh, your grandmother.
Yeah, and she looked at me. I'm out of college at this point, and my mom knew she was dying. I guess I could tell this story quick. So my mom found out she's dying, and she was going to go see her after not seeing her for a long time, and I stepped up. I'm like, go with your mom, this woman meant nothing to me.
Right.
I never even called her grandma.
She's a ghost.
We called her Aunt B, which is funny because my nickname Opie, but we really did call her Aunt B, the B being her last name, first initial of her last name. So I walk in the room. There's this old lady just dying. And I don't give a fuck.
Right.
My mom kind of cares, but she doesn't even give a fuck that much either. But
Right.
she's doing the right thing. And this old woman looks up at me and she goes, "Precious." I guess when I was a baby, she called me Precious. So this was her moment of like, oh my God, Precious is here.
Right.
And I look at my mom and I go, "Mom, do what you got to do. I'll be in the car." And I walked out.
Oh, yeah, that felt
I
good.
walked out because I know the pain that this woman brought on our family and my mom in particular, to be honest with you.
Right.
And I'm not going to deal with this Precious crap.
Yeah, go and die. Hurry up and die, lady. Hurry up and die the fuck up.
And then my mom's sister was in the hospital at the same time that my mom didn't see for the rest of her life.
Right.
But was peeking around the corners and stuff, panicking that, oh my God, my mom's back in the picture. She's going to want some of the inheritance, whatever the fuck.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because I guess my mom's mom had Hummels that were worth a lot of money and this and that.
Oh, well, everyone in Long Island has that precious Hummel collection.
Right.
The Long Island Holy Grail of bullshit.
Well, it's a Philly thing too.
But my mom's sister lived in Queens, very close to where we're broadcasting right now, right? And I didn't see her from the age of early teens until she died literally a year ago, I think. Never saw her again.
See you later.
And she lived right there. Right there.
Is that apartment up for sale?
So, I mean, to summarize, but I got to say this. My dad's side of the family, cool as fuck.
Right.
Just cool as fuck, usual problems, but just a decent, solid,
Decent family,
big
solid.
family. My mom's side, batshit crazy, and I don't know much about him.
Now, are you Irish on both sides or just your dad's
I'm
side?
a mutt.
Okay.
I'm a little of everything.
My mom got me with a long game. She fucking, you know how I hate to apologize. So if I do something like that, I try to be ahead of everything.
Yeah.
I remember when I was married, I got into a big fight with my mom because she wasn't giving, when we go down to Florida, she wasn't giving my kids, my ex-kids, the same attention as my brother's kids.
Right.
So I was talking to her on the phone the other day, and I brought it up. I said, yeah, whatever. And she goes, "Are you going to say I'm sorry?" I said, "For what, Ma?" She said, "For embarrassing me in front of everybody, making believe I don't care about those kids." I said, "I'm sorry." She goes, "I cared about you, and I knew she was full of shit. I knew she wasn't going to last." I was like, wow.
But what about the kids?
Well, her theory was, she didn't want to give these kids another layer of family they'll never see again.
Right.
She's like, she's done this 3 times. She's going to do it again.
Wow. How did that make you feel?
Like a piece of shit.
Really? Why?
Well, because I was fucking wrong. I like beating her up and being like, I was right, Mom.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
No, it just
No,
it
good
was
point.
sucks that she tolerated them.
Right. But she knew it wasn't going to last.
she knew-
So she didn't want to put the energy into it.
Well, it was funny. It's not that she wanted to put the energy. My mom she loves any kid. She's like the person that will steal somebody's kid. Like
Yeah.
she loves kids, but she knew she didn't want to hurt the kids by giving them another layer of these people
Right.
that they'll never see again. Like she said, she explained to me, she did it for them.
Wow.
She did it for them. She goes, I come from a world of broken homes. Like just. It doesn't help them anymore.
Yeah.
They know that it's bullshit. They know they're not going to be there.
In a way, you got to respect that.
Yeah.
I guess, right? I mean,
Just a way of looking at it.
there were times my mom stepped up, and I was like, man, I respect that shit.
Yeah.
She in the end, my mom had a lot of issues. She's still alive, but
Yeah, and I'll tell you what-
sorry, I just got to say, she always had our back, even though at times we were very confused by that.
Right.
Because she had her issues, and I know she truly loved all of us. But but we went through some hardships.
I didn't realize how much my mother suffered through my marriage, because she knew it was a sham from the beginning. But she loved me so much that she played along with it.
Right.
But she knew always till the end.
She had no doubt.
She had no doubt. It was like she was just waiting.
Right.
Well,
And I remember, and it's funny how your mother, even at my age, she knew my tone.
Right.
I called her, and before I said, "Hey, Ma," she goes, "It's over, isn't it?"
Wow.
Imagine, she was just waiting, sitting in that chair.
She was probably happy for you.
She was the happiest I've ever seen her.
Right.
She's
All
like,
right.
"You got rid of that."
Why don't we wrap up? We're not going to beat that.
That was awesome, dude.
You got anything to plug?
Nope.
Littlefoot, thank you, brother.
Anytime. I'm glad you're okay.
You didn't talk much on this podcast, but we fucking played off you.
It was good.
You have a good. I like his energy.
Right? It's nice.
I play off Robert. I've told him that in private, and then other times you share and give us a lot for the podcast. So.
Right, and then sometimes it's not that good. Sonny, come on! I gotta do something. It's me.
Yes.
Did you really see her making out with that dude?
Boo, 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 boo.
Wrap it up, Joey. Well, episode 91 in the books. Rate us 5 stars at Apple Podcasts, get a cool Ruizing hat at OpieRadio.com, and follow me on Spotify. I'm Joey Salvia. Thanks for your support and for listening to Westwood One Podcast Network's Opie Radio. From the Westwood One Podcast Network.